Erica, all year there have been serious questions about whether the state's unemployment system can keep up with demand. So we filed an open records request to find out just how long people have to wait for their money. When we plan to report these numbers, the state told us the labor secretary who leads this agency and is responsible for fixing it would sit down with me. We've heard from a lot of people this year who have had trouble accessing their unemployment benefits. Has it been good enough?
We know that this year there's been a lot of challenges.
Those challenges range from a call center that never seemed to answer the call.
Thank you for your patience.
And then it hangs up. To payment delays that stretched for months without explanation.
I think it was 18 total weeks.
A lot of people trying to collect unemployment in Massachusetts this year had their work cut out for them. Records we obtained show the median wait for a first unemployment payment grew to as long as 48 days this fall. That's nearly 7 weeks without money.
That's just unacceptable. It's just wrong.
The delays left state lawmakers fielding hundreds of calls from frustrated voters.
People shouldn't have to call their state rep and state senator. That's the bigger question here.
We know that there is a backlog in adjudication, which are open work items that have to be addressed.
Labor and Workforce Development Secretary Lauren Jones sat down with us to talk about the problems and how they are trying to fix them. We started with the long wait before unemployment payments start flowing. It got pretty long as 48 days for the median in September. That's 7 weeks. Is that too long?
I hear from claimants, and I know that that is too long. I understand that this is an impactful resource when people are most vulnerable, and we need to make sure that we are improving the timeliness of payment. Part of the problem is a shortage of staff. At the start of the year, the department had 136 adjudicators. Those are the people who determine if claims are legitimate and process them for payment. Now, there are just 107. That's a loss of 21%. The department is hiring to replace those lost. Unemployment lost about 20% of its adjudication staff this year. Why? There's natural turnover within Department of Unemployment Assistance, whether it's for adjudicators or call center staff.
The state lawmakers tell me they don't think unemployment has moved fast enough to pay benefits this year. They want to know, where do you need help? Do you need more staff?
Well, I appreciate the partnership with the legislature. We continue to keep them apprised of how we are doing, and we're going to continue to stay closely connected with the legislature as we monitor new implementations, new staffing, new operations.
Among those new operations, this summer, unemployment launched a pilot program closing the call center on Fridays so all staff can focus on delayed cases, and says they are closing the gap. Cases stuck in pending are not factored into median processing times until those payments start flowing. That's why the state says those stats climbed so high this fall, because more old cases were finally paid.
I recognize that timeliness is key, and that is what we're focused on. I also appreciate that as we're navigating these issues within Massachusetts, we're not alone.
Other states have also struggled to balance paying claims on time with new verification requirements put in place after widespread unemployment fraud in the pandemic. Add to that a 5% cut in federal funding for unemployment this summer.
We know there are challenges with our system, and we're trying to make sure that that customer experience is improved.
So as further evidence that they are making progress, the state just told us that the median payment time in November dropped to 13 days. 13 days. That's the median, though. It's not the average. Median means for every payment that's under that time frame, there's a payment that's beyond that time frame. So what happens next? Well, the Fed says the job market is stalled, and so if the unemployment rate rises further next year, it'll be a true test for the state to keep up. These unemployment stories came from emails from you. So if you've got a consumer story for me, send me an email. There's the address, ben@wcpb.com.